Next is from Eddie Hogan. So just stay away from the titles. Hey K100, CM Punk returned to Survivor Series. So I'm as good at breaking news on this show as Billy Body was. When do I start my weekly segment? Everyone on Earth can see the planned WWE are moving towards CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, barring any injuries. I think they'll tear down the house shows. They'll tear the house down, and storyline build towards it will be incredible weekly television. My question is, does it really need to be for the title? CM Punk right now is a bigger deal than he has been in 5 years, or a bigger deal than he has been in years and years. Punk versus Rollins is a huge match, so why waste the title being on the line? Why waste the title being on the line? Do you guys think the CM Punk being put into the title scene could cause a backlash and undo all of this goodwill? No. What are you talking about? The fact that Seth has the title makes the feud even better.
Yeah.
You got more stuff more things involved that you can
and
talk
remember,
about.
One of his big points of contention back in the day when he left, which amazingly is almost 10 years, is he wanted to main event WrestleMania. So there you go. Rollins Punk title main event on one of the nights in Philly. Boom.
Right.
You know?
Let's talk about Punk for a minute. So it was pretty funny. We did a month ago, not even a month, maybe three weeks a month ago. We did a video where, like everybody that listens to the show knows that I made that bet with Joe a while back. But obviously, like a lot of things have changed going forward. With Vince McMahon not being involved in creative anymore, and the Endeavor, the company being sold and stuff, and and I basically had changed my opinion. But we did a clip, YouTube clip this up now. That when we remember Konnan, when we were talking about how Meltzer and the Dirt Sheet guys were reporting, and this was the funny thing. All these guys were reporting that Punk wasn't going to show up. Right, everybody was.
That just made me more certain.
Because we were pretty certain that the WWE, their sources were feeding these guys false information because the buzz about Punk was too much. It's exactly what happened.
And remember,
they got fed false info. Go ahead.
When Eric was on the show, we asked him about that, and he agreed too that probably it's just misdirection, which it was.
Right, complete misdirection. You got a comment on that, Konnan?
Yeah, I always said from the beginning, I thought Punk's going to be back, and then I just thought, bro, I'm thinking as a promoter, I was like, it's too enticing not to bring him back at Chicago. The Star Zone always line up like that, and that would be a hell of an entrance. They're going to do it. They're going to sit him down. They're going to talk to him. I know for a fact that before the show, he went into different rooms and talked to different wrestlers. I think he wanted to make sure everything was smooth and everybody was cool with him, and probably to apologize to some people or whatever he did.
Right. That's interesting. What did you think about the way they did it?
Perfect.
They didn't really do you. Here's the interesting thing, right? It's like they
Mondays or the Survivor Series.
No, the Survivor Series. Okay, so he came back at the end of the show, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything. He just walked out and he had his, the white T-shirt on, which I'm not a fan of.
What's the deal with that? What's the deal with that haircut he has?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's something. When he was on AEW, he let himself get gray. His teeth were a little discolored, if you will, as people have pointed out. WWE comes in dye job, whitened teeth,
Because you're in the big time, bro. If you don't look good, you're gonna stick out. Even though he doesn't wear suits, because that's not his MO. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he even looked in better shape.
He's the counterculture guy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so next.
Well, what were you saying, Di, about how they brought him in? You were about to talk about it. That at the end.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I thought it was very clever because the whole thing is like, these aren't pay-per-views anymore. That's one thing that people got to be clear about is that. Because you weren't selling Punk, because you would have had to if they were still doing pay-per-views, you would want to advertise Punk is coming back to sell the pay-per-view, right? But now they're not pay-per-views anymore; they're just shows or premium live events on the streaming network, right? So they brought him back at the end of the show, did a couple things that went viral, like they talked about, Drew McIntyre left the building in a hurry. They showed Seth Rollins cussing him out. and everything, and let that fester on social media for a day or two, and then you bring him out on Raw. So it's like there's good buzz, right? And you're when people are waiting to see what he's going to do, like next. So I thought that was very clever the way they did that, where he came out and did nothing, except for Seth Rollins getting stuff, and they sold that for like 2 days. So I thought it was clever. I'd like to see what number they do. We're not going to get the number for Raw today. I think it's backed up a day.
What was Monday's game? Yeah. What was Monday's game? Because I was sleeping.
Chicago, Minnesota.
How was it?
It's a terrible game. Like no offense.
Right. It was so they should have gotten good numbers.
Yeah, they should.
They said here's a couple of news bits on it. The comeback moment got more than 71 million views, the biggest social post in WWE history. The previous record was Logan Paul and Ricochet off the ropes, 40 million. But Punk got 71, and that's about it. There's a Sports Illustrated story out on it I haven't read yet, though, by Justin Barrasso.
Next one's from Matthew Hardy. Is that Matt Hardy? Subject is Seth Rollins' reaction to CM Punk. Hey, Konnan and Disco. It's been a while since I came in with a question. I want to get your thoughts on Seth Rollins' reaction to CM Punk's arrival. If you hadn't seen it, he was flipping him off, charging forward, dropping a few bombs, and went to say on fan footage, if he's in the back, I'm going to knock him out. Do you think this was a real or a work? A big part of me thinks it's a work because there's really only one guy holding him back, Michael Cole. Appreciate your time. Enjoy the holiday season. That's from Matthew Hardy. I think it's definitely a work.
100%.
So they work just to gain interest. So yeah. Next one's from Wilgaby Gonzalez.
Let me tell you, can I just say a thing, Disco? That's what I still love about wrestling, because like when you and me were growing up, and I don't know if Joe got any of this, because he's not from our generation, but you and me specifically, a lot of people still thought it was a work. I thought it was a work, kind of. I wasn't sure until I started training. You know what I'm saying? But today, it's been exposed with all these Tough Enough and people talking. Yeah, I did a job for this. Like I put him over. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you believe this is real? That shows that wrestling can still get you and done right. So I approve of what Seth Rollins did, because a lot of people weren't sure.
Yo, what up? This is Konnan, and I host Keeping It 100, my co-host, Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!